Hello and welcome to today's webinar. Today, it's the feature face-off. We're going to be taking a look at Omni Price and Rockton Pricing Management, talking about the past, talking about the future, and really just diving into pricing. My name is Blake Rockwell. I'll be your host today. I'm the technical sales lead here at Rockton, so if you've ever worked with us before, you may have spoken with me. If not, and this is your first time, hello, nice to meet you, and thanks for joining us today, this wonderful afternoon. So let's go ahead and hop into this. This is our feature face-off. We're just going to be going over some of the features included in Omni Price and what you may be able to gain should you choose to move to Rockton Pricing Management. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off my camera now so you can see the screen nice and big as I narrate the rest of this. So let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to go ahead and go over, of course, Omni Price and Rockton Pricing Management. We'll break it down between the pricing features, the flexibility. We'll get into some diagnostics, and of course, all of that other good stuff that's going to be included. So stay tuned, and let's get us kicked off here. So some may be asking, why are we comparing? Well, Omni Price and Rockton Pricing Management are both our pricing solutions, our two core pricing solutions here at Rockton. And one of them, Omni Price, was just built for a different time. It was built about 20 years ago when GP was the king of the ERP world and it could do no wrong and there was nowhere else that anyone was going to go. Of course, that landscape is not exactly the same as today. It is a much more competitive business landscape. There are a lot of emerging ERPs. Many are going cloud-based. It's just a very exciting time in the ERP. It's also a challenging and new time because there's a little bit of uncertainty as well. Now, Omni Price was built just for GP. It lives inside of GP and thus is kind of limited in that case because it's attached to the ERP. Now, Rockton Pricing Management is built for what's next. All right, it's compatible with any ERP, so that includes Great Plains, but also some of those new cloud-based solutions you might be considering, such as Business Central, maybe Acumatica, NetSuite, stuff like that. Our engine can really be connected anywhere. And so we're going to go ahead and break down those key differences that are really going to impact your business on the day-to-day. So let's start off with some core pricing features and functionality included here. So first off, of course, we have with Omni Price, the platform. It's Dynamics GP only, as I just kind of mentioned. And then on the Rockton Pricing Management side, we are multi-ERP, right? So we have the ability to connect to really any ERP. Right now, we have connectors already built for GP, Business Central, CRM, as well as Acumatica. Now, with that being said, our core engine, Rockton Pricing Management, actually sits outside of the ERP system and is connected through a connector. And so to connect to any ERP you'd like, the only thing that's missing is that little connection piece where the ERP and Rockton Pricing Management talk to each other. And so while we only natively integrate with these 4 new ERPs, we also could theoretically integrate with any ERP should you have the development resource to code that connector. Now, from a pricing engine standpoint, Omni Price is contract based, right? We have contracts, we rank them, and then Omni Price is going to go out based on the simple filters you have applied and find that contract. Now, with our pricing engine on the Rockton Pricing Management side, it's schedule and calculation based. And so we can layer it more than just selecting the best contract. We can have things driven by dates. We can have special calculations set up. We can have multiple layering going on, right? So we're able to just enhance the logic a lot more than just selecting the best contract, which is fundamentally how Omni Price functions. As far as prioritization, Omni Price works with a simple ID ranking. You just rank your contracts, high to low. Now, of course, with Rockton Pricing Management, we have multi-level logic. So we can go by rank, method, date, really any other way we want to. It just gives us a lot more functionality to prioritize when certain pricing should or should not apply. As far as date logic, Omni Price is a little bit more limited, basic start and end, which is plenty fine for many businesses, but maybe you want more functionality. You want overlapping sales. You want things that are time sensitive. You want multi-tier. All of those are possible with Rockton Pricing Management. So you're just going to have a lot more advanced date logic. Now let's talk about filters and flexibility. Omni Price versus Rockton Pricing Management. With Omni Price, we absolutely have the ability to filter our pricing. And so we can have different pricing based on simple things like customer or item. Now, Rockton Pricing Management offers highly targeted pricing. We can be extremely specific. We can filter by custom, item, document. Sorry, I meant customer, not custom. Item, document, or any other attribute based on those things. So on the customer attributes, the item attributes, the documents. We can also price based on location, unit of measure, based on currency, and more. And when we say more, we really mean anything. Rockton Pricing Management can price based on any piece of ERP data. As long as that data exists in your ERP system and is readable by Rockton Pricing Management, we can use it to create a calculation and affect pricing. Now, as far as calculations and adjustments, you can also imagine Rockton Pricing Management, or RPM, is much more powerful than Omni Price. So on the calculation and adjustment side, Omni Price gives you some basic rules, right? We can do fixed price. So if you just want to have set contracts, Omni Price is great for that. List minus, you can take that list price from GP and then give a discount off of the list, right? Based on item or for the customer. Now with Rockton Pricing Management, we have a lot more ability there. So we have unlimited stackable calculations. So we don't have to just rely on fixed price or list minus. We can do cost plus. We can do all based on any ERP piece of data. We can also have SQL logic. So with Rockton Pricing Management, we can actually code functionality, whether that's a pricing logic or some sort of calculation. We can code that and have RPM call it. And so you can actually just write custom calculations and have that called based on whatever piece of data you'd like. We also allow for tiered and margin pricing. So tiered and volume pricing allow you to give your customer a special price when they buy more quantity of items. And margin pricing allows us to price based on, say, our cost and pad in a margin to make sure that we're always profitable. And so if we want to apply a margin to pricing, that's super simple and easy to do with Rockton Pricing Management as well, making sure we're always in the profit. And finally, really most powerfully, is that Rockton Pricing Management allows you to track any of these calculations you've just created to any general ledger account. And so we can create a general ledger account for just about anything and track a calculation there. This allows us to handle things like rebates, royalties, tariffs, commissions, etc. Because, for example, a commission, the only difference between a commission and a discount is that a commission and discount, say they're both 3%, one of them affects the unit price, the discount, and then a commission does not affect the unit price. So we don't sell it for 3% less, but that 3% value is tracked to a relevant general ledger account. In the case of a commission, that 3% goes to a 3% commissions payable and receivable account. And then the 3% discount goes to your discount payable receivable account. And so all we have to do is track that, commission, that salesperson commission to, say, salesperson John's commission account. And then every time salesperson John makes that order, we're going to track that general ledger. So it gives us a lot of flexibility and also more insight. We can see how things are performing. How did our sale perform? How's our cost plus performing? How much am I eating away on discounts? How much am I giving away in rebates or royalties? How much are tariffs cutting into my bottom line? All that visibility is possible with that general ledger tracking. So on the calculation side, a lot more possibilities, and then of course a lot more insight into how everything is working and how everything's performing. Diagnostics and visibility. Omni Price has a little price check window. You guys might have used that before if you're Omni Price users on GP, right? You just pull up the order, the sales order, you look at the price and you click that price check window and it pops up and it tells you what contract applied, right? Now that's all you're gonna get. You don't really know how it calculated that price. You don't get a lot of insight, right? And so with Rockton Pricing Management, we get much, much more. We're gonna get a full diagnostic log. And so every time a price is calculated, we can look at the diagnostic log and it's gonna go through each step of the logic that Rockton Pricing Management worked through, the math it did or did not look at, what was or was not applied, and as well as the final output and answers, you can see exactly where the breakdown happened. This allows you to quickly understand and troubleshoot pricing decisions. Just gives you insight. It allows you to see what logic is actually happening, so you can see the order things are going in. It's really, really helpful and just improves a lot upon what was already great with Omni Price, but now we have something brilliant in Rockton Pricing Management. Reporting and usability. So with Omni Price, it's, we have Dynamics Report Manager if you need help with reporting. Now, Omni Price was not really built to be a reporter, okay? And so we have limited Excel editing there. There's not really any visual aids, and so it's kind of elementary when it comes to reporting and usability. But of course, that's by design, right? It was just supposed to be a simple pricing calculation engine to just go beyond what GP standard pricing was willing to offer, right? Now, with Rockton Pricing Management, we have a lot more usability and reporting options, okay? And so for one of those, we have pricing trees. The pricing tree quickly gives us a visual cue so we can really easily look at all the logic we have set up. It will show you all of your price schedules, your price groups, all of the adjustments broken down into them, and when those might apply. And so it's going to give you a really simple and easy visual tool to see exactly how your pricing is set up. Furthermore, we have price books. And so you're very easily able to import and export from Excel these price books in case you have certain pricing that is fixed, you have contracts that are pre-negotiated, and these are kind of static prices that aren't changing as often. You're able to have some or all of your pricing be based on these price books, and we can import and export those very simply with our engine. From a reporting standpoint, we also offer catalogs with Rockton Pricing Management, which was not available before in Omni Price. We're able to print off a list, say, here's a customer, here's all the items, and here's all the prices that customer pays for those items. And then that can be customer specific, and we can have different catalogs based on different customers, because you might have a different price based on that customer, based on some other rule you've set up, right? And so we're able to generate those price lists and then send those off to our customers. We also have test scenarios. So in Rockton Pricing Management, we don't have to go into the ERP like with Omni Price. In Omni Price, you got to make a fake sales order and see, how is this working? You're going to clutter up your data, right? With RPM, we have test scenarios built right into the web app engine. You can go right in there, and all you do is you create a test scenario. You just type in a price schedule, a customer, and an item, and an expected output price, and you click run, and it will tell you if that expected output matches what the calculated output is based on your rules. So that makes troubleshooting easier, and of course, you don't have to clutter your actual ERP environment with the pricing data. It's easier to set up, you have richer insights, and more control. Overall, it is just a much more advanced and more capable version of Omni Price. Now let's talk about integration and scalability. Omni Price is tied to GP, of course, so any pricing you have in there is only going to ever live in GP. Now with Rockton Pricing Management, we are multi-ERP. We work across GP, Business Central, CRM, Acumatica, and we are expanding to more platforms every year. And so with that being said, should you move on to Rockton Pricing Management while you're on GP and you're evaluating a move to Business Central in the future, we're able to offer certain perks for you to help mitigate that process. So you won't be quite up for the same amount of physical workload to move, and also not the same amount of financial commitment as moving from ERP to ERP with RPM. So we have tools, and our team is there to help you handle that integration and handle that move over. And so if you're worried about waiting until you're on your new ERP to implement something like Rockton Pricing Management, please reach out to our team, because we do have some specials we are able to do for existing Omni Price customers on GP looking to move to Business Central. Okay, so please reach out so I can give you more details about those special offers we have. We are not marketing them, and so it's just if you are an existing customer and you know about it, and we'll have some special deals going on for you. So go ahead and reach out if you're using Omni Price, sales@rocktonsoftware.com, and let us know what you're looking to do and what the future might look like for you. So with Rockton Pricing Management, of course, we can future-proof our platform. In the future, should you move ERPs, it's very likely that RPM can move with you, and so you don't have to ever relearn a new pricing management system, right? This pricing management can serve your company for perpetuity. In summary, Omni Price is familiar, but it's limited. It works really well at what it does, but it just doesn't do that much. Rockton Pricing Management is powerful and scalable, and it's ready for what's next. RPM is the future of pricing, regardless of ERP. And now is as good a time as ever to upgrade your pricing game. Like I said, regardless if you're moving on to ERP next year, tomorrow, or way down the line, talk to us, reach out to us. Let us know what you're looking to do. What are you struggling with pricing with today? How would you like to improve? What are you looking to do in the future? We have great insights and we're able to maybe help guide you and point you in the right direction. And it would really give us some ability to help you before you make that move, and possibly save you a lot of time and effort in that moving process. So please, I do encourage you to reach out, especially those existing Omni Price customers. We would love to help you out and keep you as a Rockton customer and continue to serve you in the future as you make that move. So that's most of the presentation I have for you today. So you may be asking, well, what's next? Well, I encourage you to go to our website and download the Omni Price versus RPM comparison grid. This grid breaks down in a clear, easy to look at grid is what it is of, just checkbox if it has that feature and blank if it doesn't. And so you can really see the features and the ability that RPM has compared to Omni Price. Great visual tool to see the side-by-side comparison. As another next step, please reach out to us and schedule a personalized feature walkthrough. I would be happy to provide that for you. Like I said, I'm the sales lead here, so it's going to be me personally who's going to walk you through that. I'd love to reach out to you, connect with you, mention that you watched this webinar, and yeah, let's see what we can do to help you work simpler and easier when it comes to pricing. And of course, you can always watch our demo videos because we have lots of resources online, and connect with our team. If you have any questions, I can get you in touch with the technical team if you have more technical API and maybe back-end based questions. Of course, I can help answer all the front end and logic questions. So our team is there to support you in any way you can. So please reach out if you have questions. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us today on our move from Omni Price to Rockton Pricing Management. Now, please know this was not meant to scare you. Both Omni Price and Rockton Pricing Management are not going anywhere. Regardless if you move or stay on GP, Rockton is here to serve you for years and years to come. So don't think we're scaring you or pushing you onto a new platform. We're just trying to show you what's out there and how it might be able to improve upon what you're already doing today with Omni Price. So thanks again for joining us. It's been a pleasure to walk you through everything that we have. It's very, very exciting for us. We've just really put our hearts and souls into this product, and it is just so much more capable than what we've been able to offer you in the past. So I'd love to have you guys try it out and tell me what you think. So please reach out if you are looking to improve the way you're doing pricing. Thanks again for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day.